I guess I just wanted to add on unfinished business. Maybe we should mention and talk a little bit about the safe and sick policy or anything new on that. Because Robert wasn't here that night.
Yep.
And we need to talk about that nativity scene. And we also need to get, I don't see where where do we put?
Pardon me?
Where do we put our new council?
Yeah.
person?
He's right at the top.
Use that number, she's the letter C.
Oh, there it is. I'm sorry. Yeah.
I didn't know what order we wanted to go in.
No, that's fine.
I get, yeah, that's fine, so. I guess under some new business, I have some, a storm sewer down by the post office and, some no right turn for truck signs, some stop signs, and some added, streetlights.
I'll move to approve the amended agenda then.
Tom made a motion, someone a second.
I'll second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Approval of the minutes.
I did see two needed corrections, one on the ninth meeting. The last page where Maple Messenger reached out regarding fire protection. You have Councilor Freilich made the motion and he seconded the motion.
Okay,
So I don't know who made the first.
I will go back and look at that.
And then on the meeting or the minutes from the 27th, you have that Robert was
I was absent.
Robert was absent.
never mind, my misread. Dumped me like a sore thumb when I just looked at it the second time.
Okay,
It's okay.
I was gone. Yep. Okay, with that, somebody make a motion to approve.
I'll approve the minutes.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
I oppose, motion carried. Approval of the bills. So there's Scott. We're rolling right along, Scott. Any questions on the bills? I had a couple things there. You think it's possible? For years upon years, the streetlights, the pump house, Boone, the parks all had their line items for their energy use, you know, from Excel.
Mhm.
Does it come that way to you now yet?
It still comes line item, but in Banyan, it's under
Excel.
Excel. And then it has the drop down into the departments.
Yeah, because, you know, you look under Excel here, it's got ball field $80, and then if we look, it's got concession stand, north, oh, that was a gas, I thought there's seen one there. It would be nice to be able to have our street lights, our lagoon,
Yep.
you know, and our city offices, I believe the fire department, they all had their own line item, so you could watch that cost on them. you
So
know.
they should be on here.
Well, they're on there, but
They just so much per whatever, names whatever we have them.
like it says here, ball field, $1,951.
Okay,
You know, that can't be, I mean, that's probably the total of the whole bill, maybe, yeah.
yeah,
So, and what it'll pick up probably the
so,
the-
yeah,
either the last or the first item entered into Banyan and prints it, but
yeah.
you could do an Excel.
I can do a print screens and do an Excel. Yeah, I'll figure that out.
Cause I mean, up until what, a year ago, Tom? So maybe a
Couple of years ago.
couple
yeah.
years ago,
Suddenly stopped.
it had them all separately listed.
Okay.
So we knew the cost of the
Sure.
streetlights and the lagoon
Mhm.
and everything, the pump house. Every city piece of property had its own
Sure,
cost.
okay. Yeah, I'll either do an Excel spreadsheet or something. I can get that for you in addition to it.
And then I see at Menards there, it says a door lock for the city garage. There must have been other stuff besides $553 for a door.
There was a lock for this one.
Oh, okay.
There was a lock.
Multiple
for-
locks.
Yeah, there was 2 locks. There was some batteries. The locks were $100 a piece. And then he had some other purchases from Menards. The receipts, yeah, I can.
Now we got some of these bills here that are November's already
Correct.
to date.
I did, yeah, 3 or 4 of them today. I was telling John Pryor, we had. When Minnesota Waste it wasn't late, but it overlapped the billing.
Okay,
And I think it's because I held it just for the next meeting, so I wanted to, some of these are, that's why I printed October and November's statements.
Okay.
Or the check summaries.
anybody else with questions on the bills in? If not, somebody make a motion to approve. Someone second, all in favor, say aye. Opposed, motion carried. Okay. New council member. And she is present. Did we already made a motion to,
We did the
There
resolution
was a resolution to appoint.
Yep.
So now she has to be
sworn in.
sworn in.
sworn in?
Yep.
And that's your job, I
So
believe?
that's my job, I guess.
Yep.
So
And then you'll get a seat up here.
you get to sit up there.
Yeah.
I have to stand
No
and do
name,
this
no
opposite.
yet.
Right? So just, yeah, I'm just gonna repeat after me. I state your name.
I, Amy Clammer,
You solemnly swear that I will support
do solemnly swear that I will support
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Minnesota,
and the Constitution of the state of Minnesota,
and that I will discharge faithfully
and that I will discharge faithfully
the duties of the office of Counselor of the City of Good Thunder
these of the counselor of the city of Good Thunder
in the County of Blue Earth,
in the county of Blue Earth,
State of Minnesota,
state of Minnesota,
to the best of my judgment and ability.
my judgment and ability.
Welcome.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Come up here, come up here.
Now you can have a seat.
Congratulations.
Thank
Yes.
you.
Welcome to all the fun.
Yeah,
Well, we appreciate your
thank you.
taking it on, because
Yep.
What I'm getting into, so.
Yep.
That's part of it.
Alrighty, we can move on to sheriff's department. Our new liaison will be Andrew Hagan. I think he worked here before when we had our own police
Yep.
department, right?
yeah, and he's pretty good yet.
Yeah.
He's a pretty good guy.
I talked to him, I don't know, right after they announced it. He just happened to be in town. I stopped and talked to him a little bit. And he just asked what we expected of him and stuff, and I just kind of. It's the general stuff and asked him if one said you check into a few things.
And
That if we needed him for anything or want him to come to meetings, let him know, they asked him too.
And I know since the sheriff was here, we made a couple of requests, that they be here while the kids are getting.
You know,
They have been sitting around now.
Mhm.
They've been doing a great job.
I agree.
Yep.
I agree.
They're like instantly.
Yeah,
they
And
came in, they come in about half an hour beforehand too and
Yeah.
drive around a little bit.
no, they're
Check things out.
they're back doing what Kyle was doing when he was our guy, because he was always in town early and
Yeah.
taking care of business.
When I pulled up, I was the first one here this evening. There was a deputy sitting there. He, in his vehicle,
Yep,
but
yeah, no, I think they're done exactly what we asked of them, so. Anything else in our sheriff's department? They had 82 hours of patrol.
They had alarm, suspicious vehicles, motor vehicle, this, and then some disorderly and nuisance calls, he said. I didn't get the list until this morning.
All right. We can move down to fire department. Looks like they had 14 calls, 1 gas leak, 10 medicals, 5 list assist, 1 just law. Any questions on that? If not, we can move on to street update from Race. He had some quotes here for a skid steer.
So.
Oh,
Thanks.
I see mine in here too, somewhere. That's-
This was the last thing I dropped off. Yeah, it was an addition that I had set on your spots tonight.
Being.
Those were the warranty information.
Oh, it might be here. I don't know.
Tonight,
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, sorry.
He's got a little cover letter here. He's talking about Bobcat with the warranty and.
My goodness,
Yeah. One thing we should take note of is that an F-450, that plow truck?
the little one,
Yeah,
yeah, that's a Ford.
450, you know. I see that we're getting some rust and the bumper's rusting right through there. So if the bumper's rusting, what is the frame looking like underneath, you know?
Right.
I mean, you asked him to get quotes, Tom, and see warranties, but.
Yep.
Myself, I don't think we could ever justify that kind of money. I wouldn't be opposed to a good used one, but. You know, if there's anything out there, but wow, that's a lot of money. I mean,
Yeah, I was gonna look, and I never had time. I don't know what the attachment for a used one, you know.
right,
I do know that a brand new Caterpillar 259 D3 is $100,000 if you're a contractor.
if you were a hunt,
If you're a private contractor, not 80 grand like it is for us.
yeah,
See, that's what makes it hard to look for used,
yeah,
you know, because the used market is reflective of contractor market, the real price.
yeah,
So that's why it makes them so hard to find. I tend to agree with you though, Robert, that as much as I'd like to have one, I don't know if we'll utilize, put enough hours on it. Let's put it like that. Justify it. And maybe we won't find anything used and maybe there won't be anything come up, you know, and we'll have to look at something like this, but you know, can we, I don't know, table it or something?
well, I mean, as far as versatile, yeah, they're very versatile, they're very quick. But you know, to get from point A to point B, they're a lot slower,
Yeah.
you know, it just doesn't, you know, they only go so fast and that's not very fast. Where the tractor, you know, yeah, you get it on site, yeah, it's gonna spin around and it's gonna do
Oh,
the
yeah,
job
right.
quickly, but.
They're what everybody uses. That's for sure. There's
Yeah.
no question about that. But
I see that place up there by south of Shakopee there. They had a good used one here, a month ago or so.
oh, yeah.
Yeah. You know, I wouldn't be opposed to anything like that, but my thoughts are that truck, that 450, that got a heck of a workout last year,
Oh, God, yeah.
you know?
And
And
the big truck, the big one too, how's that? I
that's
really didn't look that close.
That's all in pretty good shape now. It's just could stand some paint on the frame and maybe some on the box, but otherwise, in reality, what Jake and I put that subframe in there a year or two ago already, 2 years ago, and so that should all be in pretty good shape. You know, it might have to have a little ding in here and there. But
What year is that 450, that Ford? Any idea?
I'm not a Ford guy, I couldn't tell you.
Have no idea.
Early 2000s? Have to be. at least-
2006.
Oh, yeah, we forgot races there. What is it, 6?
2006, yep. It's got 109,000 miles on it.
Yeah.
What is the opposite of full?
And like, I think it's like,
Yes. The
oh,
opposite
there's a lot of engine hours on it because obviously it idles a lot.
Good job.
Yeah, I bet there is.
Race was telling me today too about a couple of the other towns around here got through that government program. I know we did with the fire department, it's kind of a, but I think since we did it, it's got a lot better.
I hope so.
Yeah.
That wasn't worth a hoot.
Who was it?
Mapleton
Was it
got a
Saint or
Bobcat through
Mapleton?
DNR.
Yeah, and they're happy with it.
Can we put our name on the list or how do you do that?
I think so. I
I
told them to check into it a little more. And I
So
know we had a few vehicles way back when, but
Yep.
I talked to Mike over at Minnesota Lake and he said they got a grader. It's about the same size as the one in Mapleton, but it's a 2001 with like 1,200 hours on it. and they got it for, it's like a $200,000 grader if you were to buy it as a contractor, and they got it for $6,700, and that was just the cost of transport to get it there. They put a couple $100 for the paint and a $800 wing on it, and so they got basically a grader that'll last in the next 10 to 15 years for 10 grand.
Well, how do you find the list of what they have?
Is that
Uh,
through,
Well, you guys probably know better than me.
It's a DNR, it's through the DNR on that,
Yeah.
they're subsidized by the government pretty.
Grace, are you still there?
Yep.
Oh, why don't you work on that here coming this month, okay? And see what you can figure out. You and Sue together, maybe you'll have to get together and see what you can figure out on that.
In Colorado it was through the state fleet, the state had a fleet of vehicles and equipment that once they've used it, then other agencies could basically buy it from the state, you know,
Kind of that same deal.
Yeah.
used vehicle, but it's half the cost, but you'll have, you know,
Supposedly you don't
miles on it.
Yeah.
My understanding for how this works is the DNR sources it. So the fire department puts out the request because it has to justify use for how it would benefit the fire department, and then from there, the DNR sources it from used military equipment, is my understanding. The one that Minnesota Lake got was an old Navy grader. It had that old blue, gray, red paint on it. That so I think it's all military equipment.
Yeah, interesting.
So how did Minnesota Lake Fire Department justify a road grader?
I believe, if I remember right, he said that it was in the winter it would allow their plows to get out quicker.
Makes sense. But you could justify a skid steer then.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
They might have one of them too.
You wanna give Grace the authority then to get us on the list and get
Yeah.
something coming and going and let us know.
Yep.
If there is anything. We can do it.
I mean, here they got the $10,000 more pricing. How?
Oh, that's crazy.
I think it's gonna go down because I don't think some of this stuff is gonna sell.
Oh. A lot of work out there,
Yeah, yeah.
a lot of work.
You wanna talk about your tractor inspection there too, Race?
So the warranty, when we were talking about warranties at the last meeting, I figured I'd look into the tractor one. The end of that is coming. Right now it's got about 1,300 hours, and it's good through 1,500 or through March of 24. And when I called to see if they could extend that, that it doesn't fit the big loader warranty, so that's it for that. But he did mention that there is I think they called it a winter equipment inspection, where it's the inspection is $500, and then it's obviously we don't have a way to get the tractor to RDO, so it'd be another 200 for them to come out and look at it. But they basically do a 3-hour inspection on it, go through the whole thing, and with the warranty coming up on it, it might not be a bad idea to see if we can't catch anything that's going or will go bad, and get the warranty or get it fixed under warranty as opposed to have it break when we're off of it.
I think that'd be a good idea.
There's no extended warranty on hydraulics or anything, the depth system, no nothing. Once that 1,500 is up, it's done. Okay,
I think,
Pretty much is the preventive maintenance thing.
yeah, I think that's a good idea as well.
If we'd have purchased all that up ahead, we probably would still have that, but it would have cost another
$7,000.
at least,
Yeah.
10.
Probably, yeah.
You know, yeah.
Well, somebody will make a motion then to have that inspection done and for amount of $700.
So move.
Someone a second?
I'll second it.
All in favor, say aye.
All right.
Aye, opposed, motion carried. Okay, tractor snow blower.
So I was talking to Scott about this a little bit today. Lorenz, I mean, Robert, we talked about it. I know Lorenz makes a really high quality blower, and really heavy duty blower that I think shying away from anything that's as heavy duty as that, especially for the work that it's going to be doing. I've been looking around to see what other brands look like, and I don't know if they necessarily would hold up the same. The downside of that is that they're sold out for the year. Smith's Mill in Janesville had a couple of them, but when I called him last week, he said that they just sold. I did find one that's 3.5 hours away, a private party sale, but there'd be some getting to get that, and I think it's the next size down from the one that we had, or the one that you have, Robert. So I think that one's $8,100, I think.
How old was it? Do you know, Race?
I can reach out. I reached out to him on Facebook Messenger to see if I will say it is in, at least from the pictures, and I know pictures can be deceiving, but the pictures do look like it's pretty lightly used. All the paint still looks pretty good on it. The only thing I don't think I've seen on it is a hydraulic chute deflector, but that's something you can always add after the fact.
Yeah. What town is it in?
It's over by Eau Claire, if I remember right. I haven't looked it up for a couple weeks.
Oh, okay.
The other issue is that I guess they're getting rid of it because they sold their tractor, so they don't have any way to get it into the back of the truck. So I'd have to get a trailer out there, which inconvenient, but doable.
Mm-hmm. So if you went over there, you'd have to take your own loader tractor or whatever and a trailer big enough to take both or whatever, vice versa.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Wait. Couple 1,000, 2,000 pounds.
Oh, God, yeah, I would say so. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, yeah, you can see some on the internet that look pretty good, but again, 3.5 hours away, no way of loading it. It's kind of a tough one right there. You have a neighbor? What do you think? Should the guy snap onto this one, or
I don't know.
kind of hard to buy it sight, we're spending city money. It'd be nice to see it in person first.
Yep.
You could invest 2 days of going over and looking at it. Yeah, it's a good one. Bring it back, go back and get it. Yeah.
I don't know. What else? I mean. Can we work out rent or something for the one that we're using, or purchase, or? I suppose we can't. You probably don't want to do that, do you?
It doesn't, I don't know. I took it apart because it needed some stuff fixed on it, and I ain't gotten that. I got it apart, but I guess in reality, you could get it fixed up, but yeah. I was supposed to get a receipt, for $1,500. That was all approved, for a tax
Yeah.
deduction, but that receipt never developed. So.
Well.
I mean, it was just, needed a new chain, a couple sprockets, I believe, and, where the PTO hooked onto that one area there. The holes were wallowed out, so I wanted to make it nice and tight, new again. So it wouldn't take much to get it up and going again. Hopefully it don't snow. There isn't anything else on the internet?
I've been looking around, but it's been pretty sparse in terms of what I've been seeing. Most of them I'm seeing are too small.
Yeah. I think got snow this winter anyway.
Anyway.
So that one you're working on or fixing on, you use it too?
No, I got my other one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. No, the city has had that other one for I don't know, 10 years,
Yeah. it was long.
10, 12 years.
Yeah.
So. We could get it up and going, so we won't be in trouble if it does snow, so. I guess my thoughts are have Race keep looking,
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know?
yeah.
if we could, if, gosh, if I could just see that. Did they only have a couple pictures of it, Race, or was there multiple pictures of it?
There's multiple, but they're all kind of from the same angle. I'm sure if I ask, they've held it. I think I messaged them a month ago and they've been holding it since. So I'm sure they'd be more than willing to take pictures of it.
Could they
They're
do
taking
a
one-
video?
I'm sure they could.
You kind of see the whole thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, do a walk around video of it.
Sue, I'll text some pictures of it to you so you can kind of show them what it looks like.
All right.
Alrighty. And then Front Street there, the county let you know that they're gonna be redoing something there in what, 2028?
So my understanding is the way that Ryan explained it is that there was some interest at one point in redoing that block between the bar and the elevator. And he's got money for municipal government or municipal roads that they allocate every year. And he said that it's pretty much spoken for through 28 or through 27, but there is an availability in 28. If there's still interest in replacing that, but he did say that the utility cost is 100% on the city to get those replaced and updated, and then the physical road reconstruction was the city covers 10% of that.
I don't know, is there a water main down that street? I don't believe there is there, or is there?
I believe there. How does the one go up there's one in that alley, I believe.
You see anything there, Scott, on that one? That's water. The elevator gets it from a private little line, I believe, there from the street to the north.
Yeah.
And the sewer, I believe, is stubbed.
Water line that runs down the alley.
Yeah, it's not showing the elevator sewer, but I believe it's a private little line that comes down here and goes with this one, I believe. Ron might know that better than I do. Cause I know it only services the elevator office, I believe, is all it does. Cause Kellen's obviously goes out the back and well, we got this house no, that's right there, that probably goes that way, so. Well, we got a few years to work at that.
Yeah.
All right, so. Anything else to add then, Race?
Well, I just need to know if that's something that he wanted to know if that's something that you guys want to push for doing, so he knows, so he can kind of fill out his project sheet.
Couple he had.
I mean, our portion of the sewer is not gonna be very much, you know?
Pretty clean. They redid it all.
Here's two pictures on that, Robert.
Well, I think that we can tell them that we would be in favor of pursuing it,
You know,
this street project. Why not? If we could get it done for 10%. Of the road cost, then you have a new street for 10% of the cost. I mean,
Yeah, because I'm sure they're gonna do some new curb, and I know the curb over there next to Kellen's is getting
yeah,
a little tough, and I suppose they'll do a whole sidewalk and curb in front of the bar then again, right?
I suppose.
An approach.
And I don't know, I suppose. But
Yeah.
it seems like it's something that we should allow them. I mean, that we,
Yeah,
yeah,
I guess tell them we'd be interested in
pursuing it.
pursuing it, yep.
And then just one other thing on that too, he did say that Main Street is not in their 5-year plan, which I think I've told you guys before, but he did say that potentially looking into the early 2030s. So just something to think about going forward or for the future. He said they update their plan every year, but as of this point, it's not.
Scary. Is it Main Street and then coming up the hill to the west or just the main block of Main Street?
I believe, I think it might be the whole section. I didn't really ask him that much of that part. He was kind of in a hurry.
All I know is they better not shrink that street going down the hill like they did out here, because in the fall with the farm trucks, they sit there. And if you lose 5 feet on that street like we did out here, that'll be a lot of congestion. It needs to remain as wide as it is. So I don't know how you would portray that to the next consoles over the next few years. But that street needs to stay that wide
Yes, I agree.
because,
Almost got a state to keep commercial parking there.
pardon?
Yeah. Like a commercial parking area.
Well, yeah, because I mean, it only may last for 3 weeks during the fall harvest, but it's gotta be there. It's gotta be the way it is.
But you got the activity downtown that's using both sides of the street all the time too.
Yep, so. All right, anything else then, Rice? Anything
Nope, I
in the
believe that's
shop?
I don't believe so. I think I'm still waiting to hear back on stuff for the inside or for heating the other side of the shop, but I haven't heard anything on that yet. Oh, I will say on the nativity thing too. I reached out to, I can't remember his name, that owns the car wash. He said, just give him if we want to go do the nativity thing, just give him a call and he'll turn that breaker on.
Wallace.
Yeah,
Sounds good.
all right. Okay, thank you. All right. Water guy. Brian,
I'm gonna test Tom and see if I can put him to sleep. He said he was sleepy. I got a couple of big ones tonight. This is our draft compliance summary from the Minnesota Pollution Control Agency. They emailed it to me, so this is a draft. It tells us if we have any permit violations or any concerns. Prior to the final draft coming out, where that one's enforceable and goes on record. There's nothing that I see that is not correct in the draft. And so we will not have a response to the draft and requesting any changes. But the things that are pointed out in here are things that I'll bring to your attention. Part of the reason that we have strict wastewater permit requirements is because the Le Sueur and Maple River are both rated as impaired waterways. And so we're at a higher level of, expectations for treating our wastewater and putting out good quality water. The parameters that they require me to test and certify, there were 139 required parameters, 178 report only parameters, with a total of 317 for all parameters that I'm required to test for and take care of. Of those 317 parameters, we did have one permit violation. The permit violation was between the 6/1 to 6/30 June time period. We exceeded our limit for phosphorus. Our phosphorus limit is 227. And our reported accumulated value was 247.6. So 20.6 kilograms over the limit. If you remember, I had to do 3 discharges this spring. It was raining, and things were filling up fast. I did not have the ability to see ahead and see that all that rain was going to be followed by a drought. Had I known that, I probably would have hung on to that 3rd discharge until fall, and then I'd be releasing that right now and then maybe do a second fall discharge. I'll talk about that a little more in a minute. In the submittals portion of this, there is one. The target date was 11/28/22. This is for the I evaluation and plan that Bolton Mink is working on. They received it on 3/22/23, which was late, but it has been submitted. Okay, so that was just noted as being late. Our permit reissuance, that's the one that I did. Filled out all the paperwork to get our permit renewed, and then we got a check and sent that to the MPCA. The status of that was on time, so that's done. This is the part, this is all my data that, all my lab results that from the things that I submitted. And something that really sticks out to me, I circled it and I put an exclamation point, was my first discharge this spring. You know, I held that water all winter long, from fall till spring. I transferred it over, I filled the pond, I released it. The phosphorus was 88.3 kilograms. Write that down, because I'm gonna give you two more, 88.3. So then, as soon as that discharge was done, I started bringing water over from the primary to the secondary and trying to get that full as quick as I could, because I've only got 3 months to do a discharge, and you have to transfer, let it settle, wait, do your pre-discharge testing, and then it takes 14 days to discharge, approximately 10 to 14. Okay, so I quickly got that water over to the secondary, I discharged it. Got the lab data I sent in, I got it back, 158.9. Almost double, 80 and 80 is 160, yeah, almost double the phosphorus, because the water had no time to sit. Okay, so then I got that one done, discharged, it's raining and raining and raining and raining. So I quick transferred the water over for the third discharge. And on the third discharge, it was 247.6. That water was only in there for literally a couple of weeks, 2 or 3 weeks. So we went 88, 158, 247. The ability to hold that water is essential to reducing our phosphorus. I would not have had a violation this year if we could have held on to that water a little longer. So now I've got the primary down at 2 feet. It's as low as I should go. And I've got the secondary plumb full. I'm gonna try and hold that till spring. And I'm expecting a real low but come springtime, that primary is gonna be plumb full too. So it's gonna be another mad dash. Every time I wanna bring the primary down 4 feet, since the secondary is half the size, that's 2 discharges. 2 feet, 2 feet, fill, and
In no time.
in no time.
And your discharge time is what? From April to June?
Yeah,
or-
like April 15th until June 15th.
Okay.
And a lot of times in April, it's beginning of May before I can even think about it, because the transfer structure is still froze solid, and I can't pump it over. So that's the importance of being able to hold. That's just clear as day numbers right there. That shows that holding the water has a result on your phosphorus. So that being said, the only other thing that really sticks out to me here on this report was the influent phosphorus. So that's what's the measure. I do that once each quarter. So the influent phosphorus in December was 7.2. In March, it was 2.8. Now you wonder, why is it so low in March? This is because we had rain and the melting snow. So it's measured in parts per million. It's not in pounds per day or kilograms per day. So it just means that we had a lot of water mixed in with it to make the concentration less.
Solution to pollution.
Exactly. In June, it was 8.16, so similar to the December or the November one. I mean, December, sorry. But then here this fall in September, during the dry period, I took a sample in September and the phosphorus was 14. That's really high. And this time when I went to take my sample, the water was the color of this table. It was blood red. It was something was going on at the locker that day. And so I was expecting a high phosphorus, but not that high. Again, it was dry, so it's very concentrated. But That's the issue. So now what this means for us is the final compliance paperwork will come through in 30 days or so. They'll send that to us and we have a violation. So they're gonna make us address that. We're gonna probably have to explain why it happened and how we're gonna prevent it from happening again. So it's really important. One thing that I can say, when I get to the next piece of this, when I talk about our water side, is that when Race does these inspections for lead and copper pipes, that he does a sump pump inspection at the same time of every house in the whole town to make sure we have everybody in compliance and that there's no sump pumps going right down the drain. Bolton and Mink did their smoke testing. They didn't find anything.
I know it.
That surprised me, but that tells me maybe that whole end of town has their sump pumps hooked up to our sanitary. If that's where it's all coming from, I don't know, but we gotta get that fixed.
Can a half a dozen sump pumps pump that much water after a rain event?
Hmm.
I don't think they can
I
it?
don't think so either.
It'd take 50 of them, wouldn't it?
More than that.
Or maybe 100.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
there's something wrong up
I
there.
was gonna print it out last month's, I chart every month rainfall versus influent and effluent. There was one day where we had 1.5 inches or 2 inches of rain and it's sticking up like a middle finger right in my graph. It's just here, boom, boom, and then flat again.
Even as dry as the ground was.
Yep. Wherever this comes from, when it rains, it's instantaneous. We were averaging like 35,000 gallons a day. It went up to 100 and some thousand for one day and it came back.
That'd be a storm sewer.
So
And it's from the northwest corner of
I
town.
think, yeah,
That's what they say.
yeah.
Well, that's because we had them, the other project we were asked Bolton and Mink to do is to look over north where the old railroad tracks.
Yeah,
I don't remember what street it is, but
Yeah,
because they think that's possibly where it could be coming in from one of those manholes, right? Or,
east of Halliday there.
yeah, yes. But
yeah.
So the other thing that this will trigger is, as part of our explanation, they may want to take a look at two things. One is our significant industrial users, that'd be the meat locker and then the other businesses in town that might contribute phosphorus. And the other one is, chemical treatment. If they suggest and approve chemical treatment, we would have to get somebody to help us, somebody with engineering capability of how do we set it up? How do you inject it? What parts per million do you need to add and what chemical to use? And is it all approved by the MPCA? So think down the road, this might be coming and I'd say it probably will.
You've never had to deal with that down there.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, I've treated.
Yeah,
Have you treated?
Yep.
aluminum
Well, I've
sulfate,
been out in the boat with sulfuric acid.
yeah, particularly the pH. Ours is the aluminum sulfate or ferric chloride to precipitate the phosphorus, but they always want you to try to eliminate the source before you try to treat the cure the problem. And so they would probably make us go through the loops of significant industrial user.
Oh, and you haven't been to a couple of meetings, but we've instructed Bolton and Mink to develop that plan and present it to them.
Good.
So that, not the MPCA, but the business owners, so that it's presented in a proper way that
Yes.
it's not us.
Yep.
It's the state, you know what I mean? And this is something we have to
Yep.
do. And we'll try to work together, blah, blah, blah,
Yeah, because if we don't find a solution, then the alternative is fines and, like it gets into a big deal. So that's that. That's all I have for that. Does anybody want this? You can have it if you can use it for scratch paper. I don't care, but I did circle some.
it might be good to have in the.
So I'll take it, and if somebody else wants it, I give it to them tomorrow.
I've got some things circled
I'll take
and
it for our
whatnot in there.
Would it ever be beneficial to try to expand our lagoons also?
Boy, sure would be nice to have the secondary the same size as the primary.
You know,
And
that property is the south side of both of them. You could move the driveway to the west side. And you could have yourself another lagoon at like a piece of pie in there probably.
you probably want to have one. If you enlarge the secondary pond, you'd want it the same size acre wise as the first one. You wouldn't want to have two separate ones. You'd want.
No, it would, yeah,
So is the secondary pond, is that just smaller?
Half the size of the primary.
Yeah,
So,
see,
I mean, so.
they switched them. Right?
Yeah, they did, they swapped them.
We switched them years ago when that was, they were opposites. And then when we lined that one, that got to be our primary and our other one got to be our secondary.
Yeah.
And it used to be the other way around.
This will be an expensive proposition because this other one has a clay liner. And,
Yeah. Yep.
The new one
if
has
you
a,
disturb that one, yeah, the new one's got a fabric. But the secondary, if you ever did enlarge it, they probably make you put a fabric liner in that
Oh, yeah.
one too, so,
yeah,
It's a bladder.
yeah,
Rubber
yeah,
bladder.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
a special for that.
okay.
Well, I mean, we'll, they're all of that, though, is what we've talked with Bolton and Mank about, you know, is our needs, and we need to be looking at the whole package and then trying to determine how to fund all of it, you know. Because the thought process was that maybe if we could get a package that was bigger, that you get a better bid, you know, so.
Do you talk to anybody else like in Vernon, you know, and like Amboy, how their phosphorus numbers are?
I do not, no, I haven't,
I mean, it only comes from probably a couple sources, right?
yeah, some of it's residential, I mean, people have it, it's in dish soap.
Yeah.
It's not in laundry detergent, they took it out of that, but dish soap still has phosphate in it, so, you know, otherwise businesses, and then there is some phosphorus in waste,
Human waste.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But these numbers of 7 and 8, that's pretty typical to what I see over at my other town I do. For the influent phosphorus. 14 is out of
Okay.
whack.
They don't have no spikes
No,
over there.
there's nothing there though.
Yeah.
Yeah. No,
We had a trouble for a while with the Fox Fur Company with what they were putting down the drain, but. Yeah,
so maybe what, first of all. Bolton and Mink need to see a copy of this.
yes. Yeah, we'll be getting our final issued compliance report. Like I say, in about 30 days, and then that's the hammer. That's when,
This one here, they should see though, too. you know,
yeah, sure, send it to them.
Kinda. So that we can, and then maybe we should have them out for a meeting. Don't you think?
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I hate to do another meeting, but
So they know what's going on.
yeah, and I can't do anything the week of the 27th. Well. That'd be before that. Have it this month. And that's only, I suppose, if both.
that'd be next week then.
Alright,
Yeah, I mean, that's only if they can put something together. Maybe
That's
they're not ready.
Thanksgiving. I don't, they probably won't.
yeah, I was gonna say, that's Thanksgiving next
it's a
week,
short week.
Oh,
so
yeah,
that's not gonna work.
Would we maybe have one like the first week of December?
yeah, let's try to do.
You
that.
know, versus our regular one on the 11th, was it? Yeah.
Like the 4th is a Monday, December.
You know, if we
First
could,
Monday in December,
we could get them
Yeah.
to do something like that,
okay,
give them time to prep and whatever.
yep, I will
Oh.
call them
Let's do that, you know, 4th, 5th.
tentatively the 4th at 7. I'll call them and ask if that works for them.
Sounds good. And then you can send them a copy, email them a copy of that.
So what was about the lead pipes? I
Get
think
to that next.
there's, oh, okay,
Yeah,
you're not done
I
yet.
wanted to clear all the wastewater first and then go to water.
Okay,
So if you're done with questions on the wastewater part, I'll hit up on those. So when Amy Lynch was out for our annual compliance for our water,
just one question before you get going.
Yep,
If we chemically treated that,
yeah.
how fast does that work? If you got a boat and you chemically treated that,
Well, you'd probably do it in the well, but in any
Yeah.
case, why?
oh, you,
It's all-
yeah,
Inject it in the transfer
you
structure.
don't do it in a boat. You put it
You
in where it's.
wouldn't, you wouldn't do it here in a boat.
No. So
I don't think.
if you,
In
you chemically,
Johnson, they did, they had an issue with, they couldn't discharge because they had an algae bloom. So everything was good, BOD, everything, but the phosphorus or the algae, the TSS portion of the was way out of whack. And so they treated with alum in a boat with a slinging it around. And they got the algae to drop out and then they were able to discharge. This is before I was their operator. They held the water too long into the spring.
but if we were able to treat it in the sump where you're pumping it, what, how long does that take? So you can cut down on the wait time.
Yeah, I wonder, I don't know, I'd have to ask.
I mean, it takes months now to get the numbers down.
Mhm.
Would it take weeks then?
It might, I don't know.
Yeah, it would be just a matter of a couple of weeks,
That's
probably.
a question for Bolton and Meg.
Yeah,
They know
that's-
that.
Yeah.
All right, that's the only thing I had.
So back, this summer when Amy Lynch was out, she mentioned about the lead and copper pipe inventory that has to be done by September of 2024. I had some notes written down. I left them at home, so I'm just gonna go from memory here. So I got on the internet and I looked up the information that we need, and this is the instructions for the single ownership, simple Minnesota Department of Health lead service line inventory template. This is a copy of it. The page 1 is just our information, the city's name, our public water source ID, population, how many service connection, title of the operator, things like that. And the second page is the report that we turn into the Minnesota Department of Health, and we have to include on here how many galvanized are requiring replacement, how many are non-lead, and how many are unknown, and a total. That's step 1 that has to be done by September of next year. There's the Excel spreadsheet that I printed. I got it on this memory thing here. I can give it to you if you want, or I can come back a second. You know, this week, maybe me, you and Race should sit down.
Okay.
Because we'll fill this out, how many connections and all that. And then maybe you can give Race a printout of all from the water bills, all the addresses, or, you know, we can make an Excel spreadsheet or something. And we can start checking them off. He has to do a physical inspection, and they're either gonna be galvanized, they're gonna be lead, they're gonna be copper, or they're gonna be plastic. And after 1986, all residences, the EPA passed the Lead-Free Water Act. And so homes that were built after 1986 should almost 100% have copper or plastic. There shouldn't be no lead after 1986. So that should help make things a little bit easier. But
Still needs to go in and look for the.
exactly, they all need to be looked and inspected and sump pumped at the same time.
Race, you still on?
Yeah, he is. He's muted. He's probably getting ready to put his daughter down.
Well, anyway, I was gonna mention, he was talking to me and he said that he's got some input from the rural water guy.
Yeah, I sent him.
So that they have kind of a plan that you're supposed to like take like a chalkboard and have the address next to the service and take a picture of
Oh,
it,
yeah.
each one.
Yeah, they want the GPS coordinates as well.
So that you have all of that documented, that you actually were in the house.
Yeah, the Excel spreadsheet that I have has places to fill in for site location, address, GPS coordinates. There's like 6 different things on there that you have to fill out. So again, I'll give that so that we can get it printed out. And the 3 of us, I can help guide them and do the submittals and stuff like that to the Department of Health. If Race is willing to go out and do the legwork of gathering the information and getting the pictures and for us, so.
He knows he needs to do it.
Mhm.
Do you,
Maybe that's
you want to
something we
be a
can do.
part of that, going in and taking pictures and doing all that? No, okay. Just thought-
I've got 3 communities that I'm trying to guide through this process right now.
Okay,
With you guys, and keep that all straight would be a nightmare. It's just, I mean, if he wants me to go with for a couple of them, I can do that.
And I could always help him too. We can kind of do it in a couple different stages and we can do it. We'll figure it out.
so does
Yeah.
it
We'll get the information from you and we'll put it together.
so the next question is, if there's a household with lead,
Mhm.
how do you make that property owner fix that?
You don't, we do.
We do.
We do it from the water shut off into the house?
I believe that's true, right? That's what
Really?
I read.
Yeah, so they talk about, on this thing, I could bring up this presentation from, this outside company that tells exactly how to do it. Some people rod them in, some people excavate. What they're gonna make us do is so many a year for so many years. You don't have to do them all at once. And we want to identify the worst ones first. So if you had some that were galvanized pipe and some that were definitely confirmed lead, you do the lead ones first and hit the galvanized later on.
Does the galvanized have to be replaced also? Really?
Mhm.
Okay.
So, yeah, it's,
What is their deal with the galvanized? Just that they want copper or plastic?
yeah, copper,
Jeff,
plastic.
Jeff and Lance were saying that there's a lead gooseneck because the galvanized isn't flexible, so there's a little lead connection between the curb stop and the galvanized.
Okay.
So this is gonna require going into everybody's basement or their house
Yep.
to look at their water connection
Or their crawl
And there's
space.
or
some-
crawl space.
Yep.
Well, yeah, to check for some pump, but
Yeah, in race, I got on the Minnesota Rural Water website, there's a sump pumping inspection form on there. And a whole bunch of information for doing inspections. I'll get with you. We'll sit down, get a laptop. And we'll go through this stuff all together.
Alrighty.
Sounds good.
That's all.
That's gotta be done by 2024, September 2024.
Yeah,
Okay, so we got a little less than a year, 10 months.
yeah, I figured it'd be a good winter project, like between snowstorms, if there's
Yeah.
nothing much going on, it'd be a great time to.
Yep.
To go check those out. Otherwise, I don't have too much. Race is doing a good job of helping me out. We meet together almost every day. In one way or another, either by text, phone, or in person. He got the heaters working for me in the well house. He got the guy in to repair both of them. Were down. One was a thermostat and the other one needed a thermocouple.
Okay.
Everything else is going pretty well.
Brian, you mentioned something about the generator inside the ponds too.
Oh, yeah, so you guys, when you guys go to put that generator in. Anything that happens inside that fence has to be approved by the PCA, so whoever does this. We have to submit their plans or make sure that they've covered that step of submitting their plan as far as. What they're gonna do for footings or whatever it is they have to do, if they have to put dirt in or concrete pad. That probably has to be reviewed before we can go ahead and just do it.
Did they come down, Rice, and pick a location to put that generator?
They're coming Wednesday morning for a site visit and they'll install the transfer switch in that panel for them then. I'm hoping Crystal Valley will be there that morning too, but they've been a little bit shaky trying to communicate with.
So pollution control needs to know where it's gonna be, and they need to know if that tank is gonna be there.
And that we're not gonna affect the dike and that it's not gonna. Impair any access to anything or be over any pipes or, anything like that, any electrical underground or. They wanna review everything, especially inside the fence, anything that's inside the fence and around the dikes.
Reese, when you meet with them, those people, would you make sure they understand that? And that if there's a problem, they need to work
Yes.
that through our engineer, so the engineer can submit that to the MPCA?
Yep.
Okay,
Does our engineers submit that, or do those people that are gonna provide the service, would they have to do that too, or not?
well, I'd be a lot more comfortable if our engineer did
Okay.
it, but I guess if we had the satisfaction of the sign off of the MPCA, I guess it makes no difference.
How long would that take, do you think?
No, I don't take that long.
Not that long, yeah.
It's a state
Couple
entity,
months,
but I mean, you won't get it done this fall.
Oh, no, you're right. We're not gonna get it done either this year, so.
Yeah, we're lucky there's not a foot of snow on the ground already.
Yeah.
But anyway.
That generator won't be running until summer, so.
Okay,
That's it for me.
all right. Thank you. Community comment, anybody?
That was where I got an email, from a resident regarding the stop signs or the stop lights out on that gravel. Is that Milky? What is that street out there? Is that where it is?
That's a crap.
Yeah. There's been trucks going through the stop sign coming from going this way. They've been running the stop sign. They're turning to go down that street,
Minor Street,
Minor Street.
Yeah.
So there's requests that we either put a stop sign ahead sign out there, or there used to be lights, flashing lights out there.
I think they got broke
Anymore.
off during the one heavy snowstorm
So, but I guess they're running the stop signs from both sides.
this fall there, the grain trucks wouldn't even stop.
Yep.
I don't know what part of that stop sign they don't understand. You know, You don't pick and choose which one you're gonna stop at.
Yeah, because they're stopping at the other ones. They're just running that one. Some of them are turning on that street too, and they're not supposed to be on that street, I guess, so.
And that's another problem that'll be coming. There's hogs produced to the west. They come into town at 3, 4 in the morning and they come down Minor Street.
Oh,
It's a residential street, so we need to put up somewheres under the stop sign or whatever. Trucks, no return. Cause we don't want them coming down there, that Minor Street.
but it's not a
No.
truck route, so we could.
It's not a truck route.
No truck route?
And if, would we put another one's truck route with a sign straight ahead? You know?
So which gravel road are they? They're coming off the gravel this way going,
Yep,
and the
Yep.
hog barn's down that way?
Yep.
Okay,
So they're going east on the gravel
going east, yeah,
and they're coming, then they turn south on Minor
yep,
instead of going down to,
every 4 months.
instead of going down to,
Past Jay Winters is to the county road.
County
and then
Road,
go,
yeah.
You know,
so is it, are they going all that way with the hogs? Is that why? They, or we don't.
they go both ways,
Oh, okay,
but again, it's our residential street.
correct, correct.
So we need to either post no trucks, right turn, no trucks, and another sign with truck route straight ahead.
Mhm.
We need to post that. Because I mean, it was a year or two ago, Ashney called the people that were going down that street. Well, the residents built that street. They paid for it in their taxes and their assessments,
No,
so they should have every right. To keep people off it that are excessively overweight,
Mhm.
because in reality, our residential streets are good for, is it? 5 ton or
6
Hey,
ton, I think.
6 ton, something like that, yeah.
Okay,
So I guess we could get together, whoever on the streets and get together with Race and do some signage.
let's
know.
do this. Yeah, just take care of it that way.
Yeah,
I make a
So
motion.
who is on the streets committee? Was it Ron on that? He's not on that anymore, I'm assuming.
I don't know. I guess
So-
we'd have to look.
Who's on the committee? Okay,
Well,
Want to make a motion, Tom, to have it, whatever signage we need to get it done.
yeah, and have, you know, work together with John or
Yeah,
somebody's around. Amy, you around? Okay,
Yeah, I am,
much, okay.
can be.
do you have any more of them flashing lights there, Race, or where are they? Does that one down there work anymore?
yeah,
Yeah, it
Does
does.
it? Okay. Maybe you should get some of them, have a few on hand also for some of these problem stop signs.
Okay, I can do that.
All right, we can get together with whoever. Get some signage out there. All right. Anything else under community comment?
so that was a motion. Did you want to have somebody who needs to second that motion?
Oh, yeah, somebody want to second that?
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
I oppose, motion carried. Anything else?
Did you want to go back up to your storm and all right? All right, or is that what you just talked about?
The storm sewer,
Yeah,
stop sign, and
yeah, stop signs and,
I was gonna put that on new, but we can do,
well, that's. Oh,
yeah.
thought we were in new, okay.
Oh,
No, I got an email regarding it. That's why I read it from the community
Okay.
comment.
I just won't forget.
okay, then we can move on to unfinished business. That's when you wanted to talk about safe and sick, Tom, and we have something here, post judgment discovery for Dakota Mart.
So Dakota Mart, the attorney is waiting for the council's approval to send the post judgment discovery to determine the assets of the party. So the city obtained the judgments, but they haven't, the next step would be to do a post judgment discovery. So that's what he's waiting on the approval to do that.
I mean, is it just an administrative thing? Like, is it gonna be like $500 or?
I don't know.
I would think it would be,
We
wouldn't it?
also see, because then they said the council needs to determine how aggressive they want to be into collecting the judgment.
That's what, yeah, I was gonna
So-
say that's.
So we kind of gotta. I mean, you really don't know how aggressive you want to be until you know what the post judgment discovery is gonna tell you.
Yeah,
So I don't know what the cost is in that. I have no idea what's involved.
Well, you know, if we have to spend 500 or 1,500 to maybe recoup some of our 25,
Yeah.
22.50, whatever it was.
I mean,
Probably
it's
gonna
worth
cost a
it,
little more
I
than
mean.
that considering, I don't know how much attorney fees are, but they're not cheap.
I mean, the thing of it is. We guaranteed that loan, kind of. And if we don't try to pursue to get at least some of it back, are we really doing justice to the
No, I agree.
taxpayers? You know, because that was their money
Mhm.
that we thought was gonna be a good deal, but didn't turn out to be a good deal. So I mean, I guess, do we have to put a limit on it? How far we want to go or just tell
You
them,
could just
keep
tell him.
pursuing it?
Well, you could tell him to do the post judgment discovery, and then once he gets that document, then present it, or, you know, he can let us know, and then you can decide.
Yep.
How much farther into this, because right now you really don't even know if there's. You know,
Anything.
you don't know what their assets are, you have no idea,
Right.
so in order to do that,
So anyway, I guess I'll make a motion that he does the discovery. Thing, judgment thing.
All right, Tom made a motion, someone to second? All in favor, say aye.
I,
Opposed, motion carried. We're gonna talk about the safe and sick.
I just wanted to. Just bring up the fact that the safe and sick. Policy. Is a thing. We have to abide by it. And that. The council of governments is working on developing. All of the policies. With all the full-time employees, us. If
You-
council people have to do it.
council does not.
Oh,
I got news from Sheila. Last week. The state does not consider elected officials as employees under the ESST law.
Oh, okay.
great. Well,
So-
that makes one
and
step
also-
easier.
Yep, with the firefighters, Phil was in here and Phil and I were talking a little bit about it. And you don't have a lot of firefighters that have the 80 hours a month, or a year. It was like 7,
Safe and sick.
8 maybe.
Right.
So,
And it applies to any employee.
you know, I know you guys had talked about doing the whole
And
throwing 80 at them at the beginning of it. But if you only got
yeah,
7, 8 of them that actually do
30 hours, they have to
80 hours a year,
hour of safe and sick.
then you're giving 80 hours to those that only put in 4 hours or 20, you know what I'm saying?
Is this just a state of Minnesota thing? Or is this nation?
Yep, separate of any.
It's the state.
It's state.
Annual sick.
The state.
Okay.
And we just had a presentation on it.
So anyway, that's good. That's good.
So,
I just,
We have a lot of unknowns.
but it's just one of those things we're gonna have to do and
It's gonna be
they're working on it.
included.
Doug is having a meeting on Wednesday. I'm hopeful I can go to that and they're gonna discuss more of the ESST.
Okay.
So hopefully I can make that one.
All right. Okay, back page, liquor and tobacco license. We do have this letter too from Kennedy here also. Is that in here anywhere?
That's the nativity, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's Tom added the nativity
Yeah, Tom did.
to the agenda.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, Nate. The liquor and tobacco licenses, they.
So do you want to do the nativity first? Or you want to do the liquor and tobacco? Doesn't matter.
Better discuss this nativity letter from the lawyer first.
Okay.
Has everybody read it?
Yep,
What your
yeah,
thoughts?
a lot of legal mumbo jumbo.
It could cause trouble for the city, I take it.
Oh, it could.
Yep.
It could.
Does it matter one way or another to me? Well, I mean,
No,
but
he makes it pretty clear you can do it.
yeah,
And he makes it pretty clear though, that if you do it, you better have all religions some way represented. Not just a nativity scene.
Well, see, I took it as you could have it, but you couldn't just have that on its own. You
Right.
could have something else, whether it be something from a different religion, or it be some decoration of the Christmas or of the holiday season.
Yeah, or,
I don't know.
yeah, right. Star
that
David, I
falls
mean, I
under
don't
that.
know.
that kind of falls under the Merry Christmas that you're supposed to say Happy Holidays.
Yeah, I mean,
Yes,
Kind of like,
yeah.
correct.
So I
so
don't know, was that you that asked for that, or I don't remember, I mean. It's really hard. They said that Madelia got sued and another town got sued, a small town around got sued for it. And they just had it.
On the corner of 66 there with that. At the bottom of the hill with that big grassy area there.
Hey, guys,
That's yours?
Not mine.
yeah, it is.
Yeah, it is.
That's yours.
That'd be a nice spot for an activity, right? by-
Oh,
There you go.
I thought you were talking about one that was existing. I'm like, what
Oh,
the hell are you
no,
talking
no,
about?
no.
You're talking about for me to put,
As you come into town with,
No, to allow somebody to put one there.
to allow somebody to put it there.
It's not on city property,
Mhm.
So then they couldn't do nothing about it.
Yeah.
right? Yeah,
But it couldn't be cities, sanctioned, I guess, or whatever.
Well, isn't there stuff on the bell tower during the holiday season anywhere, or no?
just lights.
Oh, okay, it's
Well,
never
I don't
been,
know, there hasn't been any lights lately either, I don't believe. So, again,
I don't know.
this world is changing and it isn't to the better as far as I'm concerned. All this stuff here is just. Used to have them all the time.
yeah,
Nobody
I
said a
took
word.
it on his last was that. The other options that the city would have is allowing the nativity scene, but also allowing other religious and non-religious organizations to set up their own displays.
Mhm.
The policy, basically saying we should have a city policy and it would need to be content neutral. But yeah, I don't know, it just gets so damn confusing.
The problem you run into or can run into with that, allowing any other religious organization to do their thing. You could have some really scary stuff up there too.
Yeah.
Inside of the nativity scene.
Yeah,
I mean, I don't know. I mean, Good Thunder, I don't know, but. All it would take is a phone call from the right group of people to the right person or the right agency at the state, and it would be all on us then,
yeah,
the right Snapchat or the right whatever.
And that's the sad part.
So I don't know. I'm inclined to not do it. I don't know what the rest of you feel like, but I hate to say that. I really did. I really thought that we would be able to do that, but
The church puts a little one over there on their corner, right? Just a little one, the Lutheran
Well,
church,
I don't know if that was,
but they can do that because it's on their
I'm
property.
sure, yeah.
So,
Yeah.
yeah, it's a hard thing here to do because they used to pop up all over. Nobody ever had an issue with them. Now all of a sudden you do this and you didn't treat this one right, you didn't treat that one right. Pretty soon, we're gonna be like the city of Wadena, isn't it Wadena? Yep, they had to take theirs down.
Can they put it in the city park up here, even though the church owns that park?
Yeah, but see, you might be in trouble there because,
And we technically lease that,
Lease
I
it?
guess. Yeah,
yeah,
technically.
Oh, that was just another thought that
Yeah.
popped in my head.
But what if the city put one, or if the church put one up there though?
Well,
The
they
church
do
can
whatever
put one up.
Yeah,
on
they
their
can do
property,
that.
right?
They can do
on
it.
their property.
Yeah.
their
Yeah,
property.
Yeah, correct, but it's not technically city property there.
It's just an individual wanting to put it on public property. Is the problem. So. Anybody else with comment?
No, it's too bad that we have to have the discussion, but. don't
yeah,
know,
I would have
it's-
never dreamed that there would have been a problem with it, but I know with the church, that was Pastor and Becky put a lot of time into putting that nativity scene up.
Yeah.
Themselves, and sometimes they had help, from the youth group and sometimes they didn't. But I'm just wondering if that was Pastor and Becky's or if that was the church's. But there might not be a nativity scene this year at the church either, so. Yeah, I don't know.
It's sad to say, but with the best interest of the city. We should not allow it,
Probably not.
but it's a very sad thing to say that you, as a city, can allow it.
Right.
Yeah,
It's just wrong.
It is.
no.
It's just wrong. It's just, wow. So do you have to make it official, make a motion that we are not going to be able to allow an individual to put that on city property then? How,
This year.
is that what it'd have to be to make it
I'm assuming you'd probably want to do a motion, but I would agree. I would just do it for a year. But I mean, that's up to the council.
We're not taking any action. We're just not,
Or that's true, too. Yeah, it's not an action.
we're not, and it was something we would look into.
Mhm.
Because we didn't make a motion at the last meeting. So I don't think it needs a motion at all.
Okay,
Just,
Just discussion.
it's
Okay.
just a no action,
Yep.
unfortunately, yes.
I agree.
all right.
Craziness.
Now we can get on to liquor tobacco license.
So I got them both back from the state for the tobacco and the liquor license for the Thunder and for the Red Iron. We just need to have the motion and then they need to be signed.
I'll make a motion to approve both of them.
Someone second?
You know, tobacco and alcohol.
Someone
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
I will abstain, I suppose, because my name is on one of them. And could we also have Tom sign?
Tom will sign Red Irons and you can sign the Thunder.
Yeah.
Correct,
Alright.
yes.
All right.
Okay, Blue Cross Blue Shield Insurance Dental Coverage.
I brought that up a couple months ago and you guys were gonna table it. We need to have a decision to them by the December 15th if we're going to change the dental insurance.
And you'd said that you'd just like to have the ability to get.
Even
one.
if, yeah, I mean, I would pay the difference. I think that the difference is like $15.
Yeah.
But the insurance, the dental insurance, the city offers doesn't cover. It covers 50% of fillings. It covers no. I don't think it covers, it might cover 50% of extractions, but like crowns and anything more, it doesn't cover anything. So
So for $15.
for $15 more, it gives me like $1,000 or $1,500 in coverage.
A pay period or,
It's a month, because you guys paid it a month, so it's a month.
oh, okay.
Yep. What do I do with my form?
Be $180 a year more then.
So, or like I said, even if you did it and only put the 24, whatever that you're putting now towards it, and then I would take the rest of it would just come out of my check.
Is race on that plan too, or?
Yeah,
Yeah, Maurice is on it as well.
So is it only the 15 per month for the family?
Nope, it's for individual,
individual, yeah.
and I only have individual.
And what is race?
I think he's got individual as well.
Believe so.
Yep.
I think we only do it for individual.
Yeah, I think you have to pay for family. I don't even know if you. cover-
$362 a year.
So,
We could have them both an improved dental plan.
Yes.
I mean, that sounds pretty. I'm in favor of it.
Yeah, that's fine with me too. I guess.
We'll make that motion.
I'll make that a motion.
Someone to second Tom's motion.
I'll second.
All in favor, say aye. Aye, opposed, motion carried.
And the city pays for it.
okay.
Yeah.
New water meters or new meters?
So I think was it you, John, that asked to put that on the agenda? Are we gonna make a decision? Are you guys?
Yeah, well, I mentioned it that we talked about it and I think we just kind of tabled that we would eventually talk about it. I don't, if we're not ready to tonight, but. And if it goes hand in hand now with. We're gonna have to go in the houses anyway, it might be a good idea to make a decision and get some water meters so we could start swapping out. Them too, when we're going into the houses. It'd be a lot of work. And I'm assuming we're gonna have Race do it. I don't even know that we haven't even really talked about.
City of South Bend is doing the same thing right now. And they went with this, they had the Badger meters the same ones we have. They got them about the same time. And they went with the cellular thing on, the add-on. Just to let you know what the other people are doing, but they went with the cellular option.
That one kind of scares me, but
They already got them. They're starting to put them in. Just saying.
Get automatic readings.
Yeah,
Yeah. Do we still have readers that walk around?
no, he's the thing.
we've got to
Oh.
drive by.
That was that plan that you had, what was it, 99 cents per?
It was $1 per phone. Or per line.
Oh,
Month.
I didn't pay attention to that. Okay.
Forever.
Yeah, forever, yeah.
Mhm.
And that's not cut and dry. They could bump it up to $2 and a year.
It's like Badger's not gonna control that. The cell phone companies are.
That's what I'm saying. There's no guarantee. 3 years from now, it could be $5 a month times how many?
But I don't know, I just thought we should probably discuss again, you know, but we don't have to make a decision tonight.
How many meters does Skyline have?
I don't know, that's not part of South Bend.
I thought you said Skyline.
No, South Bend,
Oh,
yeah,
yeah, oh,
way out here.
okay. I thought you said Skyline earlier.
What did people think of we had 3 individuals here, right?
Right,
3 different kinds. I mean,
Ferguson, Dakota Supply Group, and then Badger was the
Yeah.
last one.
Well, that cell phone thing, we compiled that up and what was it, another 50,000?
It was like 56,000 with that 99 cent a
15
month. Yep.
Times the 15 years, average at 15 to 20 year on
Yeah.
top of
yeah,
the original cost.
Because it looked lower on paper, but once you added that up, they were above everybody else.
They're the most highest.
and which one was it that wanted to have a couple repeaters on the water tower, was it?
That was Dakota. That's who I kind of think. The second group that presented,
Yeah,
you know, but
The water tower one is if you're doing a fixed network, so that's no driving around, that's just, it reads everything at the water tower, then goes straight to the computer.
okay, yeah,
That was the more expensive option.
that was like
Um,
3 months ago we was here, right?
Mhm.
Grace, wasn't that the one they said that one would cover the whole town? I think you told me that.
I believe both Dakota
Mhm.
Supply and Ferguson were the same on that. But the options that we were looking at, I mean, I guess either way, the drive-by option is what they kind of did more detail on. That's where it took them like 12 minutes to drive around town and do that. The fixed network is the one that would go on the water tower and was like, I think it was somewhere like $30,000 more, I think he said. I can't remember, it's been a while.
yeah.
Yeah, I know. That's hard. Yeah, it's been 3 months at least probably since we got all these quotes and. Yeah, I guess a good idea. John brought it up.
Even half an hour of somebody's labor to drive around town is still cheaper than $30,000.
I kind of like that.
And then there's maintenance costs on it.
Yeah,
Well, can we regurgitate those 3 proposals? And talk about them after the Bolton and Mink meeting?
Yeah, we could do that.
Mhm.
That shouldn't take too long. I wouldn't think of an hour. I mean, I would think, you know.
Yeah, and I couldn't find my Ferguson or my,
I will print out new ones. I still have all those, so I will get those 3.
Yeah.
And get them out to you guys prior so you have some time to look at it.
Okay.
all right.
oh yeah, I did have Ferguson.
And we got something here from Joe Schmidt, Bolton and Mink surveys. 51% of 560 people or equals 286 individuals. Need to be classified as low to moderate income represented by the complete surveys to be grant eligible. And we've only gotten back 42 surveys. I see,
79 total,
79. Oh, okay,
79 total surveys.
okay. Do we pursue this yet?
What is the low? To consider it. Low income or that, what is it, the moderate income? What is that dollar
So
threshold?
like 36,000 for one,
36,000?
I think is roughly somewhere around there for one person.
What they're saying is out of the 79 surveys. That only equaled 286 people, right?
No, we need 286 individuals.
Can you kind of put it on the Good Thunder page and kind of push it that is very vital to the city?
It's already done,
Yeah,
so we can't redo it. The only thing we can do now is
try to get them to fill it out.
is we can go door to door, like you said, if we want to try to pursue this, we need 198 additional individuals. So we can go, you would have to have, the best option would be to probably have somebody go door to door. And saying, you know, did you fill it out already? Would you fill it out? And then
Right
just
now.
keep doing that. But it looks like we all have to have it in by November 17th. So if we
Well-
want to submit it, so I mean, you'd have to be doing this within the next day or two.
Yeah,
No crap.
To get everybody.
This has always been the problem with the
Yep.
projects.
no participation.
Cause I mean, it was
Well-
on the website, there was a link to the website, there was a QR code in the letter, you know,
Yeah.
so it was,
You think they'd want to do it to try to save themselves tax money? When it comes right down to it. A lot of them don't understand it.
People don't understand.
or they just see it and they just put it there and they forget about it. I mean, I got about 8 or 9 of them after the fact. After they already calculated them out. So,
Well, obviously, you're not gonna reach that many by November 17th.
No way.
No
We
way.
might as well just mush on. Without this, you know? And this is just one facet or one part of
mhm.
this whole process.
Right.
You know,
Say the 13th yet,
So you would have until Friday to do the door knocking and try to get 198
and it's gotta be
additional
submitted by
individuals.
that. date.
No, they have to have it. They have to have the tally by November 17th. They'd still have time to submit. So yeah, we'd have to have it all done and they'd have to have it by the 17th.
we can't do it.
So,
Not gonna happen. So, no, let's move on.
And when the fees go up for water and sewer. You know,
And they'll all complain.
so. Alrighty,
Well, if we get a grant, they're gonna go up. If we don't get a grant, they may not have to go. I mean, that's the conundrum here, you know?
Yep.
If you qualify for a grant, they may go up artificially. If we don't get a grant and we just choose and pick and bid and do what we want, they may go up less,
yeah,
you know? So,
alright, new business,
so James Gordon from Pioneer Bank reached out to me and wanted to know if we were interested in getting information about switching banks. And I said probably not anymore this year, but I told him I would bring it up to council. Cause I guess he's been going around or he's been calling a few different places. Putting it out there, so,
You're gonna get a satellite bank in town then? Ask them now.
probably not, but he did say too, he goes, unless you're gonna wait for a bank to come in town. I said, well, there has been talk of, you know, trying to do that. We would love to do, but local.
Yep.
You know,
I'll
but
ask them if they'd be willing.
I'm pretty sure they're not, but
How big is Pioneer Bank? They've got,
they're pretty big, aren't they?
they're bigger than like Community Bank.
Yeah,
assuming,
yeah,
And
so.
Pioneers in Mapleton, right? I think. Pioneer.
I believe so,
I
yeah.
don't know where it is, okay.
Don't they have one in?
There's one,
Amboy
there's,
too, isn't there?
I think that's
That's
community
No, that's community.
Is it?
yeah, Pioneers in Mankato too.
yeah, make,
and North
There's a
Mankato.
couple of them in Mankato.
okay.
That was under miscellaneous, maybe we should jump back to new business there.
Oh, sorry, I'm sorry.
That's okay. A year or two ago, we talked about, I know Ron was here, we talked about adding some streetlights. The one down by the post office has not been working for quite some time. Sue already called XL on that. I know Jason requested one by the gas station on that extra pole there now. And I thought we were talking about a couple out here on the county road now that Kelvin has a couple storages out there.
We did talk about that.
And I believe Ron brought up one or two on Chapel Street up on the west end of Chapel. I'd have to ask him again if he remembers what we did, but we could come up with probably at least on this light across here doesn't work. Is that ours? You know, it's that square one. You know, that was always working and that hasn't worked out for quite some time. I believe that's our own.
You think so? Maybe.
I think so, but anyway, we need to get that repaired because it lights up City Hall better. But if a guy get together with Race and go around or look around at night and see where the dark spots are. Will we have to have a motion to put up, have Excel do 8 or 10 or 6 or whatever?
Don't we need to have numbers though first,
Well,
for some idea?
they're gonna put them up, right? And it's just gonna be a cost on the light bill, right?
I don't know that.
I would think, right?
I don't know.
I don't know yet. But I mean, they
Calculate out that you got 100 lights, they charge you per light, whatever.
They changed out all those city lighting before,
You know,
put the LED in them.
and they're responsible for fixing them if they break.
Yeah.
Or,
Yeah, but I didn't know that they would add free.
Well, if we, yeah.
well, they're not gonna be probably free.
The
when
fixture,
they're
I'm
paying
sure.
For them.
I mean, I guess I would need to ask that question,
Yeah.
Christine. I mean, you could be looking at $10,000 a pole or something, you know?
So we'll
I don't know.
contact Excel.
Can you get a hold of them? Did you get to talk to a human?
No, it's Filiform.
It's what?
Filiform.
Oh,
Yeah.
So can you,
Nothing else.
see what it would
Mhm.
cost per pole? Say if the city wanted to add 6 to 12 lights just for grins.
Mhm.
They used to have a customer service.
They do have one. It's just a matter of
Mankato.
sitting there. Oh, Mankato, I don't know.
It used to be one in Mankato. You know where they are behind,
They're way up there in the north.
They just tore the building down, the polling place.
Yeah,
Yeah, just right
it's on
behind there,
Lime Street.
right behind there used to be a customer service.
I mean, on
Yeah,
North Front Street there?
Yeah, right behind though, yeah.
Yeah,
Right
okay.
on.
Like Franklin School, but.
Yeah.
Yeah.
oh, yeah. Secure access
They
building.
got office, but I think it's kind of,
And I mean, there used to be like
Locked up and-
Dave Pearson, I think it was his name 100 years ago, you know, that was like a customer service guy. But, and I don't, do a little research, maybe you can find something out there.
Sure.
I don't know why that name came to my head again.
he still works there, he got his card.
Oh, he's probably,
Yeah.
he's probably retired.
But in the meantime, we can get an idea on if other places we wanted to add.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But it would be good to know. I mean, maybe it is all. Maybe they would come into town at their time, on their time frame and put up
Yeah,
6
I know.
more or whatever, 8 more.
Yeah.
There are a lot of dark spots in town.
Yeah, there is.
Mhm.
You drive around and then these, we discussed this when they put these up. These don't light up the intersection like they used to,
Mhm.
you know, but they don't cost us as much to run either, so. The other thing I had is the storm sewer that come up the alley by the post office there. We ran into quite a few things there. But we have it very good on the east end of the alley now. Next summer, we really need to go up to the sidewalk to the west. To the sidewalk, and there's a catch basin there. And then Ron and I were both under the impression that that water went north, but that water all goes down there. From the bank, it goes south. And there's a manhole in the boulevard. And Race, and I was there one day and we were lifting the cover off and my knee went into the ground. And I stepped in there and I went up there as deep as my leg is.
Yeah.
So that pipe going to the north is broken a little bit. But we could possibly line both of them, the one going north and the one under our new street. But we might have to reconstruct our manholes because they're very, very old on both sides and the approaches.
So this is on the Hauk side or the Hubble side?
This is on right by the post office.
Okay.
Yep, both of them catch basins would probably need to be reconstructed, but we could save this new street if we just put it in underneath and line it. You know,
I think he said, because the guy that went down into the manhole.
Yeah.
He said the one going to the north, across the county road, that one wasn't as bad, but it still wasn't great. But he said the one going underneath the road we just did he said he could barely get his fist through that.
oh, really?
Yeah, he got down on all fours and he shined a light through that. But they did say that they did suggest potentially boring a line under there, so then,
That's
You
right, it
still
was
have-
boring, wasn't it?
I was gonna just
Yeah.
say,
yeah, 'cause both those catch basins are no good, and then that manhole is obviously no good as well.
Should we have Race put that on his list for next spring?
yep,
Get that alley finished up there, get a quote on both new manholes. Boring underneath and going to the north, you might as well get it all done at once and be done with it.
Yeah.
Because you're probably talking 80-year-old pipes,
Mhm.
you know?
Yep.
They've done their duty.
as long as you don't bore through,
Yeah.
one of our pipes.
Yeah. Just another thing for your list there, Race.
The gas line or
Um,
or whatever was through the one.
Yeah, well, I seen it, yeah.
Yeah.
I guess that's all I had under new business. Is that storm sewer there? Our street lights, our signs that we already talked about. Anybody else under new business, anything?
No.
Miscellaneous,
Past due water bills or something here, what you want to talk
So-
about there?
I did a report on the past due water bills and there's 5 of them that are 3+ months or 3+ cycles old. We have some that are well over $1,000. Nothing's been done on them for I don't know how long. I don't know when the last time was that past due notices were sent out. So I'm kind of asking what the next step is in all this, being that I haven't done that.
Race, have you done past dues on the doors? I think you have, haven't you?
No, I haven't had to do anything with that.
Okay, then that would have been Jake that done that. Okay,
Yeah, and I didn't go and dive into any of the past due stuff when I filled in this.
I guess we just need to give Sue the permission to pursue that. Whatever steps you can find out, we did it before.
Well, it looks like you guys did a past due. There's postcards back there of the past due, and those will have to go out probably the 1st of December, because I know the water bills are due the 25th of November, I think. So we'll send those out because we're gonna have to start that cycle all over, I think.
Yeah,
And we'll send those out and then I think was it 2 weeks or something? I can look back and see what some of the other letters were. And then it's the letter, and then is that when the door hanging goes out and they shut them off then?
You put a door hanger on there, I believe. It was Jake that did that. You put a door hanger on there
Mhm.
then again. And then there's a little more time left. And then if there nothing happens, then they will, I think then you have to give them notice that your water will be shut off at so and so, wasn't it?
I think so, yeah.
So it's a door hanger and then it's a notice.
Yep,
Then it's the letter. Okay, I'll have to look, cause I know I found both the door hanger and the letter.
okay.
I'll have to figure out which one goes first, but I'll work on that in December.
There'd be what, at least a half a dozen of them that,
There is 1621 right now that are overdue. From even just 1 cycle to 3+ cycles.
did you see a model letter at all in there, you know?
Yes.
So, okay, that will help because
Yep.
that helps usually,
Yep,
but the ones that are $1,000 and over, that might not help.
I did have one come in today and paid that. It was $1,000, so that was good.
Okay.
But yeah, I'll, and I was gonna reach out to one that I had been in contact with prior. And I will call that individual again. And
You're
then
saying
also,
they've never accrued any late fees for.
there
being
are
late.
there's no late fees. Nothing's been charged late fees. And I called Banyan today to try to figure out the process. And we have a $30 late fee. But we don't send out a bill for anything under $50. It's gotta be over 5001 late before we send out a past due notice. But we charge a $30 penalty for anything over $5 late. So just kind of
Is that a Banyan thing for the $50 or?
no, that was something that was set up. Cause that's what, what's his name, Daniel brought up to me. Cause he said you might wanna bring that to council to find out if they really wanna leave it that way, because if they're only $5 over, they're not gonna get a late notice
Right,
and they're not gonna get a letter, but they're gonna get charged $30.
yeah, that can't be.
So. Or you send it for $5 over. I mean, there are some in here that are like 15, 20, but there are some people that just round up too, so.
I think if you send out that one mailer, showing them
Like,
where they're at, you'll probably get pretty good response out of some of them.
Mhm.
And then there might be a problem, half a dozen or whatever that, that'll take further steps.
Sure.
Well, and two, we did find out that we can. If you do that and you've
Mhm.
got 4 or 5 or however many that are not paying yet. We can sit here and read the addresses. You want to say their name,
No, yeah, right, address.
but we can read the address as to where these problems are and that what we're going to do next, you know?
Yeah.
So,
I guess if Sue gets busy and sends out these letters now,
yeah, it'll be.
and by our next meeting, you maybe can knock 10 of them out.
Okay,
Yeah.
Okay,
I would-
but how do you want to deal with this $30 penalty?
Now that's,
Do you want to leave it at the $5 over, a $5? So if they're $5 balance, you're gonna charge them a $30,
no,
but they're not gonna get a letter. So
I,
I don't know what you guys want to do with that, but to me, there's gotta be I don't know what, but
I guess that $30 should only be if it's $100+ over. Right? And it's how late? One cycle,
Well, that's what it is now.
right now it's one cycle late, so
If you don't pay the current water bill,
by the 15th.
right,
Or the
Then it's
25th
30
or
bucks.
whatever, yep,
it's the idea was to get them to pay,
yep.
Yeah.
you know?
But
But then if-
the late fee isn't auto-generated on there. I don't know if that's something
yeah,
that
and I don't,
has been, I don't know if that's an auto set thing or something, I don't know.
You mean the $30?
The $30 late fee.
was never,
Can't say never, but right now it's not. So I don't know if that's something that gets generated when you send that past due notice.
yeah, maybe,
Back, I think it was on there.
But
It
it's on-
does say
it's
on there, if
the
you don't
water
pay
bill.
it by a certain amount, you have to pay
Yeah,
this
it's-
dollar amount.
yeah,
It's
Yeah,
on there, but what you're
Yeah.
saying, it's not in the reporting
Payment.
part end of it.
correct. So, because most of these are $100 or more. I'm just looking through it.
Why don't we just leave it the way it is for now and,
I think she'll have really good
yeah,
success.
I do
Leave the
too.
$5 on there.
Yeah, and
Okay.
just leave it the way it is.
We'll see what
And it-
happens anyway. I mean, then
Right.
we'll know how how it
And you-
shows up.
and we have said before, people have trouble, that they can work out a payment plan, right?
Yeah,
Mhm.
So they just gotta come into you and say, hey,
Yep.
I wanna do $27 a month,
Mhm.
and we're good with that.
Okay, and you're good with any amount as long as it's a consistent dollar amount?
Yep.
Okay,
well, but I
to a
mean,
point,
yeah,
I
it
mean,
can't be
you know.
$20 a month or what on a $1,000 pack.
Right,
correct,
yeah,
correct,
You know,
yes.
Interest free.
yeah.
It'll
Right,
keep getting bigger instead of
Yeah,
correct,
ever,
yeah,
never gonna
okay.
wait. Get it down and
do we still have one that must be as a result of a big leak in the basement or anything? Wasn't there one up here on Main Street?
It was the old post office, right?
I think they paid that, didn't they?
There aren't any old, I mean, there are old, there
I
aren't.
don't
any-
know if he ever paid it all completely, though. That was at the old post office, I found, right?
I don't know.
Cause I always thought it was up here, but I found out it was down there.
No, I thought it was up here on Main Street. Oh, okay.
Yeah, no, it was down there, but that was all flooded.
Oh,
That's when Jake was in here, but here.
Yeah.
That was Jake here. It wasn't you, Grace, was it?
no, I put the new
Okay,
meter.
that was Jake, yeah. Yeah, that froze during the winter when there
Yeah.
was no heat and it was, it ran
yeah.
a lot.
talking about 344 Main, that one?
I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah, right on the corner.
And I
You
don't,
guys took care of all those. I remember
Yeah, that
a
was,
meeting that you guys had.
I think that was,
resolution or something to take care of all that. Yeah, because there's nothing like that. And I've cleaned up a lot of other ones that, some of the ones that we had pulled that you weren't supposed to mail out, I called Banyan and got all those situated. So hopefully it should be a smooth. There shouldn't be a lot of those going forward.
yeah.
So,
Sounds good.
all right. Anybody else with miscellaneous?
I got,
I guess.
Go ahead,
Along the
Reese.
line with the letters, I've noticed that there are a lot of houses that have a lot of junk. All over I mean, it seems like it really popped up. Even more than it was before. I don't know if we want to start trying to send out letters again to get some of that cleaned up, but there's a few houses that have, I think one of them literally has garbage bags, like 4 or 5 garbage bags outside their door, along with mattresses and other stuff.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
Okay.
And you know, those people, they make comments that the city sends a letter and then we don't pursue it, so they don't do anything. So we need to keep pursuing it.
What
We
is-
need to write,
A fine or what is
well, Tom, can we go in and clean it up?
You can't abate, but you gotta go through the process.
Yeah.
That's what the attorney said. You can't abate.
So I
You know.
did, when Patty from Amboy was here, we talked about that abatement. And they had some residents in Amboy that they sent them that letter. They signed it willing, stating that the city can come in and clean it up. They'll pay for it. The resident would pay for it, but the city would do the work.
Yeah.
And then I think they might have charged them maybe 50% of what it cost the city as far as like labor wise. But then you've got to get the resident willing to sign it. So then you don't get stuck with that storage situation.
Yeah,
So
if we go in and clean up.
if you go clean it up without an abatement signed in an agreement, then you have to store it.
Yeah.
And we don't want to run into that.
Store garbage.
I guess if you
Correct.
got a number of yards that you know and of race, come in with Sue and just send some letters. Maybe put a little more teeth into that letter, you know, that say, you know,
There is one that the attorney sent to use as a template that I found
yeah.
that had a little more bite to it.
Well, I mean, if there's put it this way, if there's a house that's a junk and a mess, and there happens to be a house next door to it for sale, who's gonna buy that?
decreases the
Well,
value,
you're the realtor. How would that look?
decreases the value.
That's right. So I mean, as a city, we should be able to make those people at least make their yards look presentable, you know? If the whole town did that, people would move out and never come back.
Yeah, but we have that authority or that power. We can do this.
I
Even
know,
if it does take storing. I mean, sometimes you gotta just bite the bullet.
yeah.
Have you used the power
Yeah.
before or has it always gotten taken
Somebody.
care of with letters?
I think there was only ever one down on Service Street. Didn't you guys go in and clean up one property, Tom, or not?
Yeah,
I think you did.
Yep.
Yep.
yeah, that was declared, that was when Carl was still here yet, and he declared it some sort of a hazard or something. That was really bad though, yeah, that was terrible.
Yeah.
That was a whole freezer full of meat outside, yeah.
And there's also with that, there's cars in the backyards there, down there, right off of the main drag going east out of town on the north side. There's cars in the backyard that are not currently licensed. Is that something people want to pursue? It was sitting on the street for months. The sheriff got one of them moved and another one moved. I mean, if it's not licensed and it's sat on the street for 3 months, what are your intentions?
Yeah.
You know, what are your intentions to do with them? You know, you roll them in the backyard and they're just gonna sit there and then I can see the weeds growing up around them this summer.
Well, send them letters too now,
Yeah,
you know, that's a nuisance abatement, you know.
Right over there too.
Unless they're covered up.
Yeah.
That whole backyard is full of
Mhm.
vehicles.
Yep.
I don't know how many are back.
What's the process for people constructing stuff without permits? Because I know one that came up too, where someone built a deck, or I mean, they call it a deck, but it's really a bunch of wood just kind of thrown together, but it's connected to the house. What's the process for that? Because I know there was not a permit taken out to do that.
well, if they change the appearance of it, right, by any
The dimensions.
dimension or anything,
Yep,
it has to have a permit.
correct, and it does not.
And if it does not have a permit, then you can fine them, I believe, for doing it.
$200.
How much?
Is it 200?
I can't remember.
Think it-
For not
I think
getting a
it's-
permit.
A fine, plus they still have to get the permit.
Plus, they
Yeah,
have to
yeah.
apply for the permit and they have to have all the, yep.
Yeah.
I will look for a letter. I'm pretty sure there's one in there somewhere.
Pretty sure it's
Um,
$200. Cause that's always the joke, you know, I mean, I
Yeah.
wanna build like that, I'll spend $200.
Yeah.
Because it's 20
Because it's
bucks.
Sunday, it's
Yeah, it's 20 bucks.
70 degrees and it's gonna be winter, you know, so.
Yeah. All
I
right,
guess-
anybody else? Bryce?
I guess one last thing while I'm thinking about it, have we ever done anything about people who leave out like their garbage cans out? Cause especially with sweeping and with plowing, there's probably 5 or 10 houses that I can think of that.
That's in the,
Just
that's
they-
in the ordinances.
Yep.
I can't remember exactly where you remember, Sue, we talked about that.
Yep.
That's in the ordinance.
They haven't, isn't it 24 hours?
It's, you can't put them out, I wanna say before 5 o'clock the night before, and they gotta be off the street by
Like 6 o'clock
6
the next
o'clock the
morning or
next night
something?
something. You know,
It's in.
So in
Something
reality,
like
they have
Yep.
24 hours.
something like that, yeah,
I can actually put that on our website and I'll also put it on our Facebook page.
yeah, that'd be a good idea.
And especially now with snow plowing
Yep,
coming
just a
up.
Reminder, yep.
Well, it's,
Yeah.
I mean, it's with sweeping
Yeah,
right now, especially, I mean, there's, like I said, there's 5 or 10 houses and they're the same 5 or 10 houses that I had issues with in the winter. And is there any type of punishment for
I think that's in
keeping them
there.
up? Cause there's one that's, I can
Think
think
so.
of that is, I've never seen it against the house. They just leave it by the road.
Yep.
Down my house.
Can we get Race a little door hanger? So the problem ones that he runs into all the time and hang it on the door
Good idea.
Yeah,
and just say, you know, come on, man,
That's a good
yep,
idea.
that wouldn't be a bad idea, because that's just a notice.
cause he knows where they are
Yep, yep,
and that way he
Winter
can put it
comes,
on the
you
door.
Plow it in and they'd complain that you plowed my garbage.
or you
can.
hit it
Or
and
hit it.
it gets broke and it's laying all over their yard all winter.
We'll get you some door hangers there, Race.
And a bulletproof
Awesome.
vest.
A lot of enthusiasm there.
You're awesome.
Yeah,
I do think though, there's a fine or there's some. kind
There's
of-
something
there's
in there and I
something-
can't remember what it is,
Yeah,
but
If there isn't, we should.
yeah,
Yeah.
there's something in there.
All right. Anybody else? Amy, anything with your new job?
No, I'll just
You're
take it
happy
in,
with your new job?
take it in and learn.
Okay.
Do you need approval for this expenditure that was in the?
Yeah, or we can table it until December because I'm hoping to go to that meeting Wednesday. So if you want, we can just put it on December's too. Doesn't matter. to me.
That doesn't matter. That's up to you.
Sounds like a deal.
All right, we'll put it
How about-
towards December. We'll do that. We'll add it in December. Yeah, I've got Wednesday. So that's fine.
oh,
I did get a letter from Blue Earth County asking if we wanted to do a holiday light recycling program again. We did it last year. We put a
what?
holiday light recycling. There was a box sitting here that you can just bring in your broken Christmas lights. We wanted to do that again, to let them know.
I just spent 5 hours Sunday fixing my lights.
I took mine and got all new ones.
Did you have people drop off last year?
I don't know. I always brought mine to the place in Mankato.
That thing was like,
Yeah, I guess put it out there. Oh, one thing, question two, the food shelf, how successful? Being used a lot,
No, it has not.
really?
What I say, 16 people maybe since,
Got my envelope down there.
Reinstated it?
it restarted. Yep, it's just not, yeah, I don't know.
Yours. Thanks.
In the garage, yeah.
And Tim is
I think that-
kind of ahead of it. The other two volunteers, they help you? Yeah, okay. But the siege is not what portrayed as to the council that it was prior?
I mean, we don't really know the prior things, cause I've even asked, what was it, how much was it used before, and there's no answer to that, so.
Yeah,
We were gonna get a sign made too,
yeah,
and we haven't done that either yet, so let's go through the. Step.
It's on the website. There's a notice, and well, I don't know if the notice is still up in the post office.
Yep, it's up in the post office and it's at, I think it's still at Red Iron.
I'm thinking that, I didn't notice it the last time.
Oh, okay, I can't remember when.
Right.
I can look them back up there.
we just need to publicize it more, try to help promote it.
Let's get a sign and put on the door here, the big door.
Yeah,
Food
Put
shelf.
on the,
food shelf.
put on the garage door.
Make
Yeah.
a vinyl magnetic
Something.
sign or?
Yeah, something like that, I suppose. Yeah, you could.
Okay. If
Where
that's
would you
enough
even
door,
find
I'll let
that?
you know.
I don't know if it's aluminum door or steel door, but
Amy will help me with that.
Friend,
Fine, bro.
It's just some kind of.
Sign from- I've used this different, when we did the parade years ago, I think I got it for my car,
Good.
Okay,
a magnetic
all
one.
right, I'll,
Think about what you wanna put on there too. I don't know if you wanna put,
yeah,
call, maybe the phone number. Maybe roughly the city hours that it.
Yeah, it's gotta be when somebody's around to get in.
yeah, I know there was, I did have one person ask why. It was locked, why you couldn't go through the red door anymore. And I
You
just
should
said
know
because
who's
there was
coming
other-
in there.
I just said because, yeah, there's other things in there now too.
Yep.
And
Want to keep track of who's going in and out.
to kind of, yeah,
I dropped the laptop off here last week. When Carl was here, remember Carl the cop? He gave me one of those tough books to use for a
Yeah.
while. I was cleaning my closet and I found it. And I brought it and I gave it to her. I don't care what, you can probably toss it.
there's nothing we can do with it.
It's ancient and.
We'd have to go to electronic recycling.
Yeah.
Wherever that
maybe I
is.
Brought it back.
Well, let's go back to this discussion of this area over here. I mean. We do need to rethink this whole. Food shelf business. I mean, that's a large area. For virtually nothing for the city. So we'd be better off. Having some sort of like a pop machine is, like it sits outside and it's heated in the winter and it's cooled in the summer and all this kind of stuff, so nothing freezes, just like cans of pop. That you'd put food into. And only that much, and utilize that space for city storage, or put something in it, or put
You can
the generator in it, yeah, the lawnmower, yeah, right, anything.
Anything for the winter time.
Anything at all, I mean, there's
Well,
some other beneficial use.
when we're talking about the garage, we're gonna have to have some type of discussion on all the books in there. I don't know. I think they're all the books from Maple River, the elementary school. I mean, there's tons and tons of books.
Tim, do you know? I mean, books are outdated. In your business, do you know of other countries you could send them to?
No, I mean, they had a sale, book sale I just saw over in Faribault at the Faribault West Mall. And I don't know if you ever seen one of those yard dumps, those really long, big dumpsters. I mean, it's almost a semi truckle they ended up almost entirely filling up.
Yeah.
That with books, and they say, and at garage sales and all kinds of stuff, you see these, things full of books, quarter a book, and it's like, there's not a market. I mean, some of those in there are actually worth something. Like if you go on Amazon, I did just for the fun of it, I looked up some of them because we were thinking about, do we want to sell the books to buy food for the food shelf? And then, give that away. But so some of, there might be a $10 or $15 book in there, but overall it's kind of, there's not a lot of.
Tom said that after last meeting. You go in there and there's tons of books in there.
And it's up to you guys, I don't know if we want to do this and if it's worth it or not to the city, but you could have a book sale.
This would probably be like our surveys.
Well, how about this then? Maybe we should put it on the website or whatever, however you want to do it, Facebook, whatever, free books.
Yeah. Try something.
We have to get rid of these books. Whatever's here, come get them, and you take as many as you
Too
want, but
many of
don't
them
bring
ever
them
get
back.
used.
No
I
bags.
had one lady came in and got some books out of the garage, because I know the ones she was looking for weren't out here. These are more the youth books, but other than that, no.
Like these here, all them there.
This summer I had one father and she was third grader, second grader. They came in and took a few books.
Yeah.
That was about it.
I try to.
These, I think-
When the food shelf, depending on who's coming in, I'll say, if you want some, actually, I say to anybody, you want some books?
Yeah.
If you know anybody or whatever,
Put it up.
I've never really looked through to even see what's in there. I mean, but it's a lot
Put a
of.
sign on the food shelf, help yourself to books.
Yeah,
also.
there you go.
And that way there, maybe we'll get rid of some of them and we'll just have to throw the rest away.
I mean, it's awful wasteful,
I know,
like that dumpster there.
Mhm.
I mean,
it costs a lot of money to be.
all of us learned out of a book. We didn't have a notepad to
Well,
learn by.
Yeah, that,
We all learned out of a book.
Mhm.
Well, I tried to, but I wasn't too successful. But anyway, I mean, they're obsolete now.
Yeah,
And it's a shame.
Mhm.
It's a really a shame, but
it is what it is.
Yeah.
it is.
Change it.
World's changed,
Mhm.
so we can see what, put it on the website,
Okay.
put a sign out there, take a book, man, have it,
Cause the end result is we're gonna throw them out.
Yeah, I wish we could find some way to use them, but I don't know.
Is there some out there that should be in here?
I don't
I think
know.
these are the more recent ones, just from
Just
Just from my kids, knowing
These-
what my kids read?
I think all of these were not from the elementary school.
Right, these are from that
It-
mobile library thing, right?
Or something that Ashley had worked on, I think. But all those, everything in the garage is from the elementary.
Yeah, everything in the garage, I think is
So
elementary.
some
Well,
of
there
these,
are some that aren't from the elementary because I know some of those books would not be on an elementary shelf. But
Oh.
I don't know, if
Wouldn't
it would not be, no.
But even if somebody wanted to take some of these, just get rid of them.
Yeah. Cause they're gonna stay there.
the Mankato library system, are they responsible for any of these? So we don't get rid of them and then they.
Have to look in the front cover. Huh?
I would wait with these. Anything from Maple River can go.
Cause I mean, really that there, that's kind of sitting right there in the walkway too.
Well, I
Yeah,
know
it
some
is.
of the books came from that Tidy Cat. I'll reach out to them.
That was one invoice that came in right when I started filling in, and I don't think I paid it.
No.
I don't think I did. Did I kept that?
I'll see if, maybe they will take some back,
Yeah, and I
or
don't,
maybe they can give me an avenue.
Yeah,
I don't know, it's worth reaching out, because we still have all those emails.
yeah.
yeah, so, okay.
See if we can do something with them. I mean, they really shouldn't be right there on the walkway. So,
Sounds good.
all right, somebody wanna make a motion to adjourn?
Yes.
Someone a second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye, opposed, motion carried. Thanks, everybody.
We had signed
Yes.
red iron.
Gotta make it, remember to get Amy a sign, Sue.
Yep,
I don't know where those.
Make it official.
yep.
I don't know where they're made.
Let's speak to them.
That will work.
Don't know either.
Perfect. Yep.
Only take half hour.
That shouldn't take that long. We'll figure it out.
Yeah.
All right, sounds good. Thanks, Brian.
You guys have years of city knowledge to learn from, so hope you're
Probably,
planning on staying for a while.
should probably end the meeting.